Hey, you guys, Tina Renee here. So, oh my goodness, I made a big announcement that I am officially back in college. Yes, this girl is in grad school. This girl right here is in grad school. It's crazy because after I got my bachelor's back in 2017, I was like, I'm done, I'm good, did that, check it off the list, right? And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going back to school. I'm good, you know? Yeah. But life is interesting. And even more importantly, God is interesting, right? He's so magical, right? And I just can never, and we will never understand how God works. But I started making candles in 2017. I graduated with my bachelor's in 2017. And I never in a million years thought that I would get invested, right? I never did. I'm like, this is a hobby. This is fun. This is cool. This is something to keep me busy on the weekends. And then it became, I think I want to sell candles and try to make some extra money on the weekends. Then it became, I really like candles. I think I want to do this every weekend. And then the passion, the craft, if you will, the craft turned into a passion. And you know you're passionate about it when you're not making a dime off of it. No one has to tell you to get up and do it. You just like boom, boom, pow. Let's make candles. So I knew for me, that's how I knew I wanted so much more out of it, just to make money on the weekend. So you all know my story. And if you don't, it's on our website. But in 2020, when my job kind of sent everybody home, they didn't lay us off, but they kind of said work from home. About 30 days, 20 some odd, 30 days after that, they said, come back. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to go full force with my candle business. And the most interesting thing about that is I didn't have my boutique that you see me in every week selling candles out of. My 10x6 trailer that I have transformed by the grace of God into a boutique. I didn't have that when I told my job, deuces. I didn't have it. What I had was, I like to say I had a candle and a dream. You know, J. Cole says I had $1 and a dream. I say I had a candle and a dream, because I did. I didn't know what my God was going to do for me, but I knew that if I gave him my plans, that he would sprinkle his magic on him and make it do what it do. And that's exactly what he did. So, and that happened in March of 2020. And by September of 2020, my doors were open for Woods on Wheels, and we've been rolling ever since, literally. So here we are. As I started to do this as a career, right? So 2020, it's a full-on throttle career. I'm out there every day at markets, at pop-ups. I'm even doing my own stuff, just going to different parts of Los Angeles County, Orange County, San Bernardino County, setting up my boutique and selling my candles. I started to educate myself. You know, I started to really want to understand. I've heard a lot about essential oils. I've heard a lot about how they physically and mentally help you in life. So I was intrigued. I started to learn, fill myself with knowledge. I went through a certification course for aromatherapy. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to incorporate the knowledge that I've learned into my products. Well, fast forward to now, it has become a full throttle need for me to understand the formulas that I'm making, the essential oils that I am blending, the physical and mental effects that they have on my customers. It's important for me to understand that and then make these formulas and blends specifically for them, right? So the need for knowledge came knocking. And for more knowledge came knocking, and I answered. And I talked to God about it. I said, hey, you know, God, I want to do this. I want to do this. And what kind of validated it is, my cousin called me one day and she's like, yeah, I'm back in school for my bachelor's. And I'm like, I wonder if I went back for my master's, what that looks like. So I made some calls, researched some schools, made sure accreditation was definitely in place. A lot of schools are not accredited, and you get your credential and you go and it's not It's not valid. So I made sure that the school that I am a student in now is a credentialed school, is a vetted school, a legitimate diploma that I will have, right? Degree that I'll have when I leave. So anyway, let me show you guys. It's been week 2. I'm week 2 in grad school. And let me tell you, English has always kind of been my thing. Like writing papers, when I graduated with my bachelor's, my capstone was a 15-page, like, communications paper on something. I don't even remember, as that was my field, communication. And I went crazy with it, and it was fun for me, So I really was like, this is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing. I'm going to get into grad school. It's going to be awesome. And I'm going to just pass with flying colors, just like I did with my bachelor's program. Let me tell you guys, the first week, I was like second guessing. I was like, what did you do, Tina Renee? The work is on steroids. When I tell you, it's not about, I'm used to just writing papers, doing research and writing papers, writing persuasive essays, informative essays, things like that. Well, the master's program is so much more in depth. I am writing literary analysis on papers. So let me show you some of the books that I have for my grad program, right? So this is a concise guide to APA style. Now, if you don't know what APA style is, that's a form of writing and basically giving recognition to the individuals that you are collecting the research from, right? So let's say if I'm doing a research paper on the essential oil lavender, and there's this amazing chemist that wrote an amazing paper, and I'm pulling information and putting it in my own words, I can't not give him or her credit. I have to give him or her credit. And this is a whole guide on how to properly give APA style credit and write my papers in such a form. So this is just a guide, which was really cool because it's been 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's been darn near 7 years since I have been in college. So I need a refresher. Like, I am dusty. This is my research and medical literature for healthcare professionals. There's a lot of research involved in my grad program. In fact, I dare say that's the majority of what I'm doing. I am researching, I am looking at literary peer-reviewed journals, and I am writing my own papers. And there's a lot of research that goes into that. So this is what that is. So I am taking a research class. So that's a book for that. This is a clinical aromatherapy book, which it's so funny because I know I'm passionate about this. And here's another aha. I know it. Because all these books that I have, like I have an anatomy and a physiology book. Look at this. Anatomy and physiology. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like the anatomy and physiology part. So I do what I need to do and I put my book down. But all of my essential oil books, I read them in my leisure. When I'm driving, running errands or whatever, and I'm riding passenger, I'm reading my books for leisure. Like, I know I have to do it for school, but I want to know. So I know this girl right here is passionate about the aromatherapy realm. And I actually have big plans for what I'm going to do with this. So it's like, what are you going to do after you get your degree, Tina Renee? I'm actually working on some things right now. Getting involved in the healthcare world with my knowledge and my vision and goal for what I want to do. God and I have had a conversation about it. He knows what I want to do, just like he knew what I wanted to do with my candle business, and he made that thing bloom, and that's why you have Whiffs on Wheels. Well, this new venture that I am embarking upon is something that I'm praying for the Lord to bless as well. But this is a clinical aromatherapy book. And it talks about essential oils in the healthcare realm. And just being 2 weeks into the class, I'm learning so much. Like one of my papers I had to write about already was about researching a country that has essential oils and how they used them in the past and how they use them in the current times, right? So that was interesting. I wrote about South Africa. I wrote about South Africa and just how different regions, and this is true of any essential oil, in different regions of the world, the essential oil grows, the plants and the flowers, they grow differently. And of course, we extract those oils from the plants and the flowers. But just how the soil is over there and how they used it, how it's really back then, that's all they had for medicine. You know, it wasn't like they had an option. They had to use essential oils, which was the best thing going for them, but they didn't have access to westernized medicines. But yeah, so I wrote a paper about that and I got 100%, might I add. So another book is The Essential Oils. This is a comprehensive handbook for aromatherapy. See how thick these books are? And I am not the least bit intimidated. Now that anatomy and physiology book I just showed you, I don't want it. I don't want it. But this book is much thicker and I want it. I definitely want to learn. With anatomy and physiology, it's important to understand how essential oils affect the body once it's in you, right? How does that affect you? So that's what I'm learning in anatomy and physiology. And it is a little bit interesting. You know, my first week, I learned about amino acids and proteins and how they work. And this is my very limited understanding. I'm only 2 weeks in grad school, you guys. I'm 2 weeks in grad school, but this is my understanding. All my science people out there, if you see this, tap in. Let me know if I got it right or if I'm on the right track at least. So when we eat different food products, right? Those food products then turn into amino acids inside of our body. And those amino acids then go through a process where they turn into proteins. And those proteins help our body to do various things, from giving us energy to just all sorts of different facets of our body that they go in and help us with. That's my very limited understanding. I'm still in the chapter. I'm still learning, but amino acids and proteins and how they affect our body, what they do for our body. So we consume food. That food then turns into amino acids. Those amino acids then turn into proteins. And there's like 4 different protein groups. Don't quote me on that. I got a test coming up. We got to study. But don't quote me on that. But amino acids and proteins is what I'm doing in anatomy and physiology. What I am doing, and this is my last book, it's Essential Oils, Science, Technology, and Applications. Again, it is a massively thick book, and I am not the least bit intimidated. I look into these books and I'm like, oh, give me more. That's how I know I'm passionate about it. So I'll be giving you my grad school updates. The program is a year and some change. So as long as I stay full time with it, I should be done in a year and some change. And it's definitely the plan. So I'm excited. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to share with you what I've learned and just use what I've learned to help benefit others, right? There's just so many medical conditions that westernized medicines are used to cure and, to treat. And that's fine, because what essential oil, what I'm doing is a complementary, alternative, care type of care, right? So we would never say use essential oils in place of, but what we would say is it's a complement to what you are already using. And always do your research with your own brain. That's like my biggest thing. Do your own research with your own brain, because I know I have removed some medicines in place of essential oils, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It worked for me. And everybody has their own individual biochemical makeup. So what may work for me may be the worst for you. So it's never a one size fit all in the aromatherapy world. And funny enough, it's not a one size fit all in the Western medicine world either. I know a lot of medical professions treat it like it is. This worked for this person, so it's going to work for you. But there's a lot of demographic. There's a lot of different factors that go into that. It's never a one size fit all. And that's very important. And another thing that I am interested in taking away from all of this, I have a lot I want to take away, but my personal experience in Western medicine is it's more about treatment versus preventative measures, so you don't have to have treatment later. That's been my experience. It's not so much about, I'm not saying every medical professional that I've dealt with is this way. I did have a really awesome doctor years ago. I don't know what happened to her. Dr. Wiley, if you're out there, tap in. But It's more so about how can we treat you? I want to treat you. You're sick and I want to treat you. And that's amazing. We all need treatment when we're sick. But what about preventative measures before we get there so we don't have to have the treatment? But then that makes you wonder what happens to the medical industry if no one needs to be treated. Things that make you say, Anyway, Tina Renee, soon to be your favorite RA, which is a registered aromatherapist. We'll talk about that later. I will keep you guys updated. I am totally in college. I am totally doing this, and we're going to get this thing done. You guys take care. The Candle-thon continues. Woo!